Hi, it's me, Jason. Hi, it's me, Jason. I just pulled this ski out of a marina with my car. Sorry I didn't film that. This is probably the biggest thing I've ever towed with this. I gotta tie it down now. Delaware, huh? I think he told me it's actually registered in Colorado now, which is interesting. Front end's got a little scuff here and there. And the whole, I mean, you can see the bottom part has got this, I don't know, it's probably the start of barnacles, but they're not quite there yet. So that might need a little cleaning up, but it's not bad. Ski looks pretty nice. It's got some bangs up in the back here. I don't know if it was like moored funny or something. This gets smashed up a little bit, but still not so bad. You can see more barnacles starting, all the salt water love that it's got. Let's see, what else do you guys want to see? I've got it came with a cover, so that's great, all wrapped up in there. It's got like some tape on it, but pretty good. I think it's missing a gas cap, so I don't know if that's the biggest of the worries. Oh, come on, that would be okay. This is the kind of ski that has a fob, and we haven't really had this before. This is it. This is broken. I'm gonna tell him no. Yeah, it's right here. Got Canada stickers on here, so I imagine they've been up there. I think it came with new plugs. I hope there's 4 in there. That'll be great. What else? What else? Mooring line. Guess we'll get into the engine since he's not here yet. Supercharged intercooled. Let me make a shadow on it. So there's a bit of like rust and corrosion, you know, from the normal saltwater stuff. It's a little bit dirty down there, but what's really wrong with it? No idea. It was just a great deal, so it seems like the kind of project we do. And it would be awesome if there was nothing wrong with it, but it seems kind of unlikely. So I guess we'll be racing this against something, hopefully soon. Or maybe this engine's got to go in something else. It would suck if this engine needed to be rebuilt or something, which can't rule that out. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Meanwhile, back at the jet ski ranch, Jason tries to put a new battery in this Kawasaki ski to see if it'll make it work. I suspect the problem with this ski is a dead battery. Could be more than that, but we're gonna give it a go and see what happens. But this is my first go at starting it with a new battery. As soon as I put the battery in and put the fob in, it started beeping about fuel. So I also wonder if it's just out of fuel. Ugh. No turn. That doesn't seem good.
Jason went and bought this Ultra 250 and was hoping that it would be a simple fix.
Kind of looked into it a little bit and he decided, hey, it's just a little bit too much work for me. So he's basically passing the project along to me. So what I have done is I drove around with the soap inside to kind of rinse the inside out. So you just put some soap and water inside and then drive around, try to clean that out. Hopefully that worked. And about to pressure wash it, it's very salty and gross, has a very nasty sea smell to it. And cleaning it up is the first step on its way to getting back out on the water. All right, just showing you a walk around here of it all cleaned up, mostly dry, and it smells a lot less nasty and sea-ish. If you guys have ever worked on boats that sit in salt water all the time, that's how this thing was smelling, that nasty sea smell. But I mean, it still stinks a little bit, but a lot better than it was. I'm fairly certain that this machine was just stored in like a marina or something. It did have, you probably saw it when I was washing it, but it had that line of like sea scum on it, and it was starting to grow barnacles on the bottom, just starting. So fortunately got that washed off before the barnacles started to form, because once they start to form, it's really a pain to get them off. The pump did actually have barnacles on it, so this thing probably sat in salt water. On used jet skis or personal watercraft around here, like in the ads, people will always say, like, you know, never been in salt water. And honestly, I think that anybody who puts that in their ads is just lying. It's definitely been in the salt water if you live around here. That's a different story, you know, if you're living in a state where there literally is no salt water, then I could see that being true. But around here, I just don't buy it. Not that anybody ever claimed this one wasn't in salt water, but that's just my 2 cents on the whole never been in salt water thing. And just to add to my whole it's never been in salt water thing, I'm not saying that just because somebody says that they are lying. I just think that most of the time, you know, that's not true. And as far as the saltwater thing goes, I think you're better off just to use your eyes and look at the ski to determine if it's been in salt water. You can't really hide the saltiness, the salty buildup on the skis. And if somebody really was taking care of it, it wouldn't have that salty buildup. And that's really what you're looking for anyway, a machine that was really well taken care of. I'm gonna go ahead and finish removing this jet pump unit, which is something that Jason had started to do. Oh. There we go. And wow, I really hope I'm in luck here, because this jet pump unit is seized. And that, I don't know if it's been talked about, but this engine wouldn't turn over. And if it's just this that's wrong with it, oh man, I'll be back out on the water with this way sooner than I expected. I took quite a bit of time to clean up all the parts on this Ultra 150 that I have off of the pump area, like the pump here itself. And I found that this pump actually does spin. It does have a few spots where it gets stuck, but it does spin. So I went ahead and I put a wrench on the drive shaft on that thing, and it does seem like the engine is seized on that thing. Backstory on this machine, as I understand it, is that it ran fine. It sat for a season, like a winter season, and then after that it wouldn't start. I'm assuming that it probably just sat in the marina without being winterized, and then they tried to fire it up the next year and it wouldn't start up. I didn't talk to these people myself. Jason is the one who went and picked this unit up, so I don't really know, but that's the story as I understand it. And we did find that they had removed the spark plugs, and the cylinders are full of like ATF or some sort of red stuff. Maybe it's like Marble Mystery Oil or something like that, but some sort of red liquid in the cylinders. So the pistons themselves seem to be sealed, because otherwise that would have dripped down into the crankcase. So, you know, we have like a good seal on the rings, or it is totally rusted around the rings, which is what is locking the engine up. But that I'm not sure. I was able to find the old spark plugs. Here are the old spark plugs that they took out. I'm assuming they thought they were just going to tune it up and fire it up. Fortunately, none of them are smashed, so I don't believe that this engine is grenaded. Otherwise, we would see a completely smashed spark plug. But we do have some rusty ones here, so we'll probably have some rust in the cylinders. Unfortunately, I found these in the glove box of the ski, and I have no idea, you know, which one came out of which hole. So basically now I'm going to just do a little bit of investigative work. I think I'm just going to pull the valve cover off, kind of inspect the camshaft, make sure nothing there looks unusual, and then we'll start thinking about other things to do next. I'm not seeing anything especially wrong under the valve cover, like it being all rusty in there or anything like that. The valve cover, there's a couple things I do need to clean up on that. These guys right here. So, I'll clean that up before I reinstall the valve cover. And I did drop one of the rubber grommets into the bottom of the hole, so I'm either going to have to find that or buy some new ones. I've pulled the exhaust piece off and pulled it out of the way, this guy right here, so that I could get a look into the exhaust manifold right here. And as I suspected, this exhaust hole is completely full of water. So that area, generally speaking, on the PWC doesn't have water in it, because then it'll get back into your engine. This pipe usually won't inject water until it gets a little bit lower, so that it won't get into here. I'm not so sure on these how they have it set up, but certainly this water here is not a good sign. So I'm wondering if that exhaust valve is stuck because it's rusted solid. So that, I believe, it's either the front or the second from front exhaust. I'm gonna have to inspect a little more carefully. That's where I believe that goes to. Now I have the exhaust manifold removed, and that revealed some nasty in the exhaust. So let me show you that. Okay, this is looking into where the exhaust manifold comes out, and you can see we got all kinds of corrosion and nastiness in there. I kind of suspect that this engine might be seized on the top end, like the valve train stuff, because the oil looks good. So I don't think it's a bottom end seizure, but I have decided that I want to take the engine out to do the work on this. I got the supercharger removed. This thing is mounted up right below the exhaust manifold. That thing still spins. It spins fine. It's got some resistance to it, but I'm pretty sure these type of superchargers just feel that way. This is the, I want to call it like a twin screw supercharger. I believe it is. There's no way it could be a centrifugal. It's got to be the twin screw type. Oh, a pretty cool piece right there anyways. The centrifugal would be a smaller unit to install on the ski though. I am going to remove the intake manifold before I remove the engine, just because it is really easy to take off. It's just, everything is on the top here. There's a bunch of nuts there, and then there's those 3 bolts there, and everything's all loosened up, and I can see that it is freed up. So I just got to finish removing those bolts, and then I can pull that intake manifold out. I figured just make it as easy as possible to remove all of this stuff. One side note, basically to myself or anybody else if you're doing these, the supercharger belt, I don't think there's any way to replace it without removing the engine, because you can't get it off the drive shaft. I have the pump removed and the drive shaft pulled all the way back, and I still can't get it out of there. So only way to replace that belt is by removing the engine. So I'm definitely gonna, take care of that while I have the engine removed from this unit. I've got the engine removed from the Kawasaki Ultra. Ooh, there it is. It didn't show me taking it out because, it's just a bunch of extra nonsense. But, yeah, after inspecting into this head, I can see where the, it's just nasty in there. So I think basically what's going to have to happen is this head's going to have to come off. And then I'll see if the bottom end can rotate freely. If that's the case, then I know that some of the valves are stuck on this thing. And then we'll have to look into like rebuilding the head or get a new head or something like that. But yeah, I've got a huge mess in the garage, and finally got enough space to walk around in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do some garage cleaning. Certainly not putting that on the camera, because that would be stupid.
No, I don't have a problem with jet skis. Look, I could quit whenever I want, okay? No, I can say when I have too many. It's not a big deal. I could always quit. Besides, I'm having fun. What's the big deal? It's not hurting anybody. Oh, really? I'm burning all my money up on it? Well, I can totally make that money back. I'm losing money if I don't buy more. It's as simple as economics. It's not a big deal. I'm not hurting anybody when I do this. It's not a problem. I'm in control. I could stop whenever I want to.